Okay, it's 6 o'clock PM on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. This is our annual reorganization and regular board meeting. And first, I want to start by welcoming our two newest board members. Looking forward to your contributions. All the wonderful work that you're going to be doing for this wonderful institution. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Wanda. Before we jump into oath of office, yesterday Kelly gave a wonderful new trustee orientation to both Paula and Lori, and I attended, and I always learn something whenever I attend this. I was president in 2024, so I did that with the new, but there's always something to learn. And this is my 5th year on the board, and it's a continuous learning journey for me as well, as it will be for you. And never be afraid to ask questions. There are no dumb questions. Okay, so thank you. I do want to remind you and all board members that we're all enrolled as members of NYLA. And you will be receiving, I think it's weekly or bi-weekly emails we get, whatever. Please read them and do take the time to go to some of the links, because the links talk about issues occurring in other libraries, other organizations, articles about censorship, etc. And it's important to know what's happening. So do that. And also, I don't know, and I hope somebody did, or you did, when you looked at the agenda online and you read Kelly's report, there was a link to NYLA, and it was all about advocacy. And she can talk about that aside from me, but it's important for all of us to be aware of the importance of advocacy on the parts of libraries. And if you go to that link, you'll get lots of information, you'll learn a lot. And that's what this is. This is a learning experience for all of us. Okay, so now we are ready to take the oath of office. This is something we do every January. So we have that.
Just a little bit.
What? The
Oh,
only
here,
I feel bad, I'm like blocking your.
are Lori and Paula.
They did it?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't do it.
They're the only two.
But that need to do it. Okay, so you have it in front of you? So if you don't mind reciting out loud together, I do solemnly swear.
Ready?
Ready.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee of the John Jermain Memorial Library according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. So just print your name and sign and
And then I'll
then
sign
she'll
it.
sign it off. Okay. So moving right along. It's time for us to review and sign the ethics statement, which I think you have in front of you. You don't have to read that out loud. You can read it to yourself, sign it, and then pass them down.
To that one,
This one can't say. And we keep her all the time today.
What's this clause about firstborn children?
Okay. It's
I signed where I should have printed and printed where I should have signed by.
It's okay. Try not to hold it against you.
all right. All righty. Got everything there?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it is time for us to part number 4, readoption of the ALA Library Bill of Rights.
don't you want the conflict of interest?
Oh, if you want to talk,
Oh,
because
sorry.
if you sign that, if you need a little more
Sorry.
time with that, then I know it's big. You know,
Okay.
just get it back to me before the next board meeting.
I've read it. If I don't have anything, I just have to sign it. right?
Yeah.
No,
Print this.
This. Okay.
While everyone's signing that, I just want to remind you, we have our final check presentation for our third scholarship winner on Friday at 11 a.m.
I will not be there.
Will anybody be coming?
Yeah, I'm
You
coming.
coming? I'll be there. I'll be at work.
It'll be a quick one, that's great.
No.
Okay, so with respect to this,
Yes.
we do, are we reading this or?
We can read it out loud. It was in your board packet, so you all should have read it. You can just choose to move to re-adopt it.
Okay. Can I get a motion to re-adopt the library bill of rights?
Motion to re-adopt the library bill of
I'll
rights.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, therefore, the readoption of ALA Library Bill of Rights this has passed. And you get to keep this copy to refer to. Okay, period for public expression. Okay, thank you, Wanda. I'm hoping everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from,
We have
We
to
didn't have to-
adopt the schedule.
we have to adopt the schedule first. Everybody took a look at the schedule. The only date that possibly could be. Well, no, but we're pretty set on that. Those dates are. Our monthly.
The only thing that I might have an issue with is the February one, I may or may not be here.
I have an issue with April. I
Okay,
will not be here.
okay. So you can miss, up to three or four board meetings. So if we still have a quorum, we can move forward with the dates as selected,
And that's over a course of 12 months.
and that's over
right?
a course of 12 months.
Yeah.
What are the double asterisks?
The double asterisk, so I moved the May meeting, that's the second week in May. And the reason I moved that is the third Wednesday conflicts with the Spring on the Hill conference, which is a advocacy focused conference that the New York Library Association does, that the library generally sends myself and Wanda's gone. We've had a couple of trustees go in the past. So it's a really good professional development opportunity for trustees to participate in. So we actually ended up moving the meeting last year because we were coming back that day. So I just preemptively moved it.
Keep that in mind. It's really worth
Yeah,
attending.
what's that date
So
then?
it
The-
should be,
The
Yeah, good.
conference itself is the Tuesday, the third Tuesday in May. Let me pull out my calendar. So Spring on the Hill is Tuesday, May 19th. And then the board meeting would be the 20th, but it's all day. So generally, what we've done in the past is we've gone up the day before, done the conference all day, and then come home the following morning.
okay. Any other questions about the proposed schedule?
No.
Okay. So can I get a motion for approval of the schedule for 2026?
I'll make a motion to approve the schedule.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, the schedule for 2026 meetings is approved. Item number 7, the approval of annual budget vote and trustee election. Thursday, September 24th, of course, it's pending approval of the school district. Okay,
We'll do that now.
Yes.
so
I'll make a motion to approve Thursday, September 24th, 2026 for the annual budget vote and trustee election, pending approval of the Sag Harbor School District.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That's it. The election, the budget vote trustee election date has been adopted. Approval of minutes. Hopefully you had an opportunity to read them. Are there any questions about the minutes? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last board meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 17th. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes have been approved. Moving on to report from the Friends.
So the Friends had yet another very successful luncheon. This one was at Bobby Van's. Wanda attended, on my behalf, and had a delicious grilled cheese sandwich.
Glad you went.
The next one coming up is in February. I feel like it's February 11th. Flyer is
Yeah.
out there. And it's gonna be at SDS. So I hope that you will consider joining.
Yeah, it looks a
at
good one,
lunch.
because
It
it
should be
looks
a
like
good
a
one.
lot of food for that, you know.
What day is
That
that?
looks good.
It is Wednesday, the 11th. Wednesday, the 11th, and it's 12:30 to 2:30.
If you want to attend, you could drop off your check, pay to Friends of the Library here, or if you buy the ticket on Eventbrite or whatever, then you pay the surcharge.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm so proud of them. They really came up with a great way to raise money. And it's, doing these lunches, people really enjoy them.
Yeah, they're averaging, about 25 people a month.
Yeah.
Which is really
Great.
great.
I've actually been and highly recommended. I think it's fabulous that such a large group is supporting us, and it would be great if more board members were there to interact with some of our funders and donors, people who are trying to
Right.
help us raise money.
And bring somebody. I mean, that's part of our job as trustees. We are all outreach, reaching out to our.
I attended the one at 7. I might have to break out of school and go to SDS. Yeah.
Yeah, that, anyway, I think it,
Yeah.
they, they hit on something that works, and that's really great. Yeah. Okay. All righty, so, anything else about Friends?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay. So we're reporting on December 2025. At the top, as always, are the balances of our multiple accounts as of that date. I'll just go total cash investments right down to the right. We're at 1.6 million, and total investments just over 2.1 million, bringing our total assets to 3,765,474. The investments I just repeated from November's meeting, since technically the trade was done in December. That was the only investment movement that we had in the month of December. As of the 31st in the HVAC project, we've paid out over $1.5 million in expenses for the capital project. Significant December expenses included a requisition payment to Belfour in the amount of $391,490, and I think this was the balance of our amount due to Advanced Control Systems in the amount of $22,281. The annual appeal brought in $10,000 in December, which almost doubled where we were at the end of November. So that's really fabulous, and we're really grateful to everyone who donated. We paid our mortgage as we always do. The remainder after the payment on 12/19 is $3,321,647. Financial activity for December, our expenditures were high, coming in at almost $718,000, but that does include over $427,000 in capital expenses. So when you back out those capital expenses, our general operating expenses were approximately $290,587 for the month of December. So that's right around our usual monthly operating nut, as I would say. And then just to note year date versus budget, it being the end of the year, I just wanted to commend Kelly and Wanda and their team for keeping really close to our budgeted numbers for the year. Of course, buildings and grounds was completely skewed because of the project, and also our contributions income. Lucky for us, we had a lot of really generous donations and estate gifts in last year, so again, very grateful for that. Then we have, in the board packet, you had the bills and applied payments, the bill payment list. Nothing out of the ordinary there. We had 2 payrolls, which were steady for 20 employees each. So nothing remarkable there either. Does anyone have any questions, concerns?
Well, Megan, thank you for another year of great work on the finance committee. So that said, can I get a motion to approve the financial reports and the warrants?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report and the warrants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? So treasurer's report. That's, thank you. Okay. Director's report.
Okay, so, gonna start my report with a little correspondence. The board received a very lovely thank you note from Kelly Wilson. Says, "Dear John Jermain Memorial Library Board members, I wanted to reach out and thank you all for this scholarship opportunity and choosing me as a winner. I am so incredibly grateful, and this is taking a huge weight off my shoulders when it comes to next semester's tuition. Thank you all so much again, Bounty." Yeah, that's, the annual appeal as of today is, at $19,655 with 86 donors. So,
How many did we have last year?
we had 73 donors last year. I also included the Friends end of the year donation in the appeal last year. I didn't include it this year. So if you back that Friends amount out from last year's appeal brought in about like a shy $13,000.
Was that a $5,000 contribution?
So,
Well, Elliot wrote a splendid letter, very effective letter. Yes, I think that counts for a lot.
and
Grateful
we,
to him for that.
I will say, anecdotally, I, was putting a lot of new names in the donor database, which was nice. So, some of the online push that we've done as well really encouraged people to.
That's amazing.
Has that changed, has that platform changed, the donation platform from last year, or has that just been the Eventbrite?
We
It's
use
the same platform.
PayPal for,
Okay.
online
For online.
donations. And it works. Let's see, so Happy New Year. We did a lot of celebrating. Our children's room had its very popular New Year's Eve party with the kids, and they celebrated New Year's Day at noon, which is really what I would like to celebrate, let's be honest. The HVAC project continues to progress towards the finish line. I don't know if I remember if I mentioned this at the last meeting. There were some issues with one of the sensors in one of the compressors in the new unit. And so since it's a brand new piece of equipment and everything is under warranty, instead of fighting with the sensor, they're just gonna replace the whole compressor. It's easier to replace the whole compressor than it is to get into the sensor. So we're waiting for that compressor to come out and then train the manufacturer will.
It's nice and warm though in here still.
It is nice and warm in here, isn't that nice? Isn't it nice?
It is.
He's like, what, $1.5 million?
It
It's-
is,
it's-
yeah.
Oh, that's right, I do feel that.
Right, nobody's afraid to sit over here.
I know that if you sat on this side of the room, you were blasted with
With cold air.
There was a cold air.
Yes.
Like the Hoover.
Suffered. You all-
We were all nodded, I'm not sitting in that seat.
That's true, like you showed up early to a board meeting, otherwise you had to sit in the
Like covers
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
So I met with, the, Belfour Lizardos and Macaulay regarding, the outstanding part of the project, and change orders. So we have a couple of change orders coming down the pike, related to, a couple of more bills come as well, related to items that were not in the scope of the original project, but we had to add, one of those being the glycol. Which, you know, we're adding that glycol injector system, but we also, the original system was not spec to include glycol. And then the decision was made in the best interest for the equipment and, as recommended by the manufacturer, to put glycol into the system. Our old system had glycol in it, and we had to reclaim that, which is not a cheap endeavor. So those costs will be coming up for approval and payment at the February meeting. We're still working on our sound attenuating blankets, because they ordered the wrong ones, so we're waiting for the correct ones. And they've been working on the installation of the piping this week. They finished repairing some of the dings and marks on the wall, so they repainted the wall. They finished the repair on the doors and on the door and polyurethane this week. And they'll be out, on Friday with something else.
Nice color.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't think you mentioned it. What did they end up doing to remediate the flooding? Or not the flooding, but the water that was releasing out of the condensing,
Yes,
whatever
sure.
that's called?
So that water, that basically when the system would defrost itself, it
Yeah.
drops a puddle of water. And so what they ended up doing, and we discussed this at, I don't think it was, at the December board meeting, you're right? What we ended up doing is basically running a pipe from, there's a pan, with a pipe that goes into basically the ground and leads to one of the dry wells. I did ask them if there was any way we could reclaim that water to
Yeah.
use it for irrigation. And they said it's really not something that happens frequently. And it's not a ton of water, and it's only something that would happen in the winter when you're not watering things.
And it's not hitting the sidewalk. Or
And it's
not-
no longer hitting the sidewalk, so it was hitting that cement pad and creating a nice little ice slip, which we don't want to do, to which they said, well, people usually put these on their roofs, they're just on the ground, so when the water comes out, it either just goes in the ground or on your roof, and I was like, they were like, it's your fancy sidewalk, and I was like,
Which I know is gonna.
Yeah.
Fall.
but they were like, that was a good call, because that would be really slippery, and I was like, yeah, on occasion, guys. Like, anytime you need me to, you know, consult, my fee will be, you know, really reasonable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's see, we're finally fixing the doors. Remember, like 4 months ago when we decided we were gonna replace the entry doors because the motors were bad, it was time. So the motors have been secured. That was the thing that was holding us up. And we are on the schedule for Wednesday, January 28th. We are gonna be closed on Wednesday, January 28th to the public.
Now why do you have to close? Because,
Because they're bringing in 2 crews.
no, but I mean, you couldn't they couldn't just close it downstairs? I guess,
That's our AD.
oh, that's right, it's ADA.
entrance, But also. There's going to be a giant gaping hole, just blowing cold air and like 9 workmen, and they need to stage, and we can't have
No,
children and people.
No, I meant just like the upstairs.
The upstairs, well, the staff is working, so we're moving to we're moving to a
Virtual.
virtual
Just curious.
plan of service. I mean, here's the thing, if somebody knocked on the door and was like, hey, you know, can I just sit up in the rotunda and work, I would probably let them in. But it's easier to
I gotcha.
not have the minutia. But we have 2 book clubs meeting that night, a teen book club and our normal Wednesday night book club. Those 2 book clubs will meet because they will be done with the doors by then, and book club can come in this store. So we're gonna keep those 2 programs meeting. And then they'll be back on Thursday to finish up, which is really just programming the doors. So instead of it being 2 teams of guys, it's like they got it.
Oh, so you don't have to close on Thursday.
So we don't have to close on Thursday, we're just closing on Wednesday. But staff will be here, and they'll be here, we're actually doing employee reviews, and we're gonna have staff meeting and do some development stuff.
That's a good day to do all that.
Yeah. Let's see, I'm working my way through all the paperwork on changing signers on the bank accounts. I will be in touch about signing stuff for those of you who need to sign things. I did want to mention that Anthony is presenting at Computers in Libraries in Washington DC, which is going to be in March. And also Wanda and Ginta are currently registered to attend the PLA conference in April, which is in Minneapolis, but we will reassess attendance if necessary. Diane had mentioned that when I did the trustee indoctrination, we talked about library advocacy. It's advocacy season. So it's that time of year where we reach out to our public officials and remind them why libraries are a vital service and important and need to be fully funded. So the link in this page leads you to the legislative priorities for libraries that the New York Library Association is pushing. I hope that you will look them over, be knowledgeable on them. And when the time comes, you'll get those emails from Nyla and you'll get emails from me. Please reach out to your elected officials and encourage your friends and family and neighbors to reach out to their elected officials to advocate on behalf of libraries. One of the other things we talked about was the cost of ebooks and audiobooks and why it matters. There is ebook legislation that Nyla we would like to see make its way through. And this is just a helpful little pamphlet for you all so that you can kind of see what the deal is with ebooks and why they're so expensive and why libraries are looking for reform when it comes to digital materials. We pay a lot more money than you would if you just went to buy a digital book. And there are also publishers, I'm looking at you, Audible, that will not sell their digital materials to libraries. Full stop.
No,
So,
quick question, when people do check out ebooks, do they get a reminder, like a request for to, return them promptly or not keep them forever?
you know,
Well, if you go on Libby, so let's say I take a book out for 21 days. Libby's not is going to remind me on like day 19, 20 that the renewal that's coming to an end. If I finish the book in 8 to 10, they don't do anything. But in the actual Libby program, when you like learn how to use it, they say, "Hey, if you're finished, return the book early." They don't let you know. They don't like when you finish the book. Libby doesn't know that you finished the
Right,
book
early.
to tell you.
so
I think the reminder actually comes early because it's like it prompts you to finish, to go
Yeah.
back and read
Yeah,
the
it's like
book
it's
because it's come the expiration.
like 2 or 3 days before.
Yeah. With regards to Libby, if you're, I'm personally not quite a super user, but if you are a frequent flyer in Libby, you have sort of like, you can have 5 holds and 7 checkouts. And I think that if it has not already been reduced to 4 and 6, I think that it is being
Mine's
reduced. 5 and 7, I think that they are reducing it by 1. You get through your stuff, like to return it early, because if you don't return it early, you can't check something else out.
I want. Sorry to get a little off topic. I read a book recently, or an audiobook on Libby. It's the first of a trilogy. So they have the first one. They don't have the second 2, but I can go and like do the notify me work. They get it. How do I sort of request and be like, hey, I want to read the next book or listen to the next book? How do you sort of say, Libby, can you get the next?
You did by hitting that notify me, so it goes into a queue. I can go into depth about this a little bit
We
later,
can
but
do that another time.
long and short of it is, there's like, you have to hit a certain
Number of people
number
asking
of
for it.
people asking for it, and that number is not as high as you think it would be.
Hey, if anybody wants to read The Devil's Gun by Cat Rambo,
Right.
it's the second in the series. It's excellent, or at least listen to the audiobook on it.
Yeah. So that is.
The minutes so reflect.
Yes.
So-
Please read.
I love his
Do
name.
sexy things, this is the first one, and then request.
Cat Rambo.
Cat Rambo is the
With a
author,
K,
C.
with a C, alright.
So I really want to read listen to the second one.
So, I know that, you know, when staff are teaching people how to use Libby, they are supposed to remind them to return the book early. But also, we have these little things now that give you that, like, read or listen to the samples. Don't just check out the book and be like, oh, I don't like this, and return it. Finish early, return early, consider a shorter checkout period. Because you can check things out for a shorter checkout period.
Sometimes I feel Libby's kind of like Netflix. If you want to read a specific book on Libby, then it's not going to be on there.
Yeah.
So I always think
Just what they
if you find
promote.
what you're looking for on Libby, pop over to Hoopla and see if it's there.
That's a good idea.
And what's nice about Hoopla, Hoopla is something that not every library subscribes to, we do. And it's pay per play, but it's concurrent checkouts. So if the Cat Rambo book is in there, we could have a board book club and everybody can read it at the same time. We don't have to wait for Dan to finish. That is my report. Statistics. They are what they are.
I have a statistics question now. I'm so
Sure.
sorry. It's is so unlike me.
I know.
I know who you, Shannon.
Michael.
I saw that our collection went down by 700 books
Yeah.
since last year,
Physical items,
1,000 since the last 2 year physical
Yeah.
items.
that's about right.
Is that going to be a trend that's going to be
a
going?
trend. That is, I mean, I hate to say it, that is a trend, locally, statewide, nationally, physical circulation of items in libraries is going down, but if you look at
Yeah, I see the ebooks.
ebook, you know, where like
But you just give us a cost analysis. It's costing us more money to
to operate,
put
yeah.
out to those ebooks.
Yeah.
The only reason I also noticed is that about, I don't know, 2 months ago, I went to look for a couple of books that I had read to show somebody, and they were all gone. Like 3 or 4 of them I was looking for that we used to have.
Yeah. Shelf space.
I guess so.
So let me ask, the growth in databases, e-references is like.
So
what-
e-reference,
Yeah,
I do, every time it's crazy, it's because somebody's doing a research project. And so the way that the databases choose to decide what is considered a use depends on the different database companies, and it's like, it's all fruit, but it's really apples and oranges. So like, if somebody's doing like a local history project, like if Catherine's doing a lot of research for somebody, you're gonna see like this huge bump up in e-database use. Catherine's using that database, and every time she clicks into a different, page, it's gonna like tick, 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 click that, but it's like one reference question. Does that make sense? Whereas other e-reference databases count things differently, like, Consumer Reports tells you, like you had 10 people who use this database, right? To do research. So then that counts as 10. Those 10 people could have looked at 437 things. So there's just no consistency across how the databases are counting what is considered a usage.
I have a stupid question.
Sure, it's not stupid.
Good. November 2025, that column versus 2025.
Oh, yeah, that should be no, because we're still in December. Yes. What's the question?
Well, what's the difference? 2025 is December?
Yes.
Just December.
So 2025, 2024, 2023 are December.
Oh, these are all,
These are all
okay,
December.
it's
Yeah.
a monthly, okay.
Yeah, it's
Year to
comparing-
year, but, and I forget who asked, but somebody asked if we could have the previous month. So that's why we tacked the previous month on it,
Gotcha.
off, yeah.
Okay,
But generally speaking, we do a 3-year comparison, so the current year and the 2 previous years.
Any other questions about the statistics? Okay, you've had a chance to look at the personnel report. We need to vote on that.
Yeah.
Any questions about the personnel report? Can I get a motion to approve the personnel report?
motion to approve the personnel report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, the personnel report is approved. Okay. On to committees. No committees met during the month. But this is the
The
January.
park board had their dinner,
They
so
had their dinner.
they didn't have a
Didn't have a
meeting either,
meeting, and you didn't go.
and I didn't go.
Okay. At our January reorganizational meeting is when trustees receive their committee assignments. I'm going to hand them out. And I'm gonna save somebody from saying, how come I don't see anybody on outreach committee? We are going to revisit that committee because it's really a non-functioning and obsolete committee. We put scholarship into it because it had nothing in it, but we would like to make scholarship an ad hoc committee. But we'll get to that. So I'm going to pass these down. And
For you, madam?
4. Everyone pass something?
You have an extra, I didn't. Thank you.
We're gonna be together a lot,
Okay, so
Megan.
I'm gonna go over these. So Personnel Committee, Laura, you're chair, because I know you have a
Okay.
rich background in the corporate world, so. What to do there, Robin, Megan will be on that committee, Finance and Budget, Megan will chair that again, with Lori on the committee and Anna. Building and Grounds, Dan is the chair, and Lisa and Paula on that committee. Policy and Long Range Planning Committee, Robin is chair with Dan and Paula on the committee. And as I mentioned, outreach and publicity. We're gonna set that aside for the time being, and MASH Park will be Lisa. As president, I serve as ex officio on all committees. Now, another thing that I'd like to see happen this year is at board meetings, we make decisions for certain committees to meet, and we usually wait till the meeting's over and everybody's flying out the door. So I want to take care of that at the time that we are doing committees. So, Kelly has said, informed me that it's important that Building and Grounds set a need ASAP as well as policy. So as the two chairs can pick out convenient times, and we're gonna work that out now. So Building and Grounds, Dan, if you look at your calendar. Did you ask everybody to bring their
I
calendar?
did. Did I?
I helped you.
Well, theoretically, I haven't counted.
Okay.
And then Robin, so just take a few minutes at your calendars.
Well, so I can, well, Lisa's not here, so. I have Mondays off, so that we could do meetings on Mondays, but then I like to have them early if possible, because. Then I don't have my whole day,
Sure.
that's not always possible, otherwise I'm done with work after 6.
Okay.
So, during the week, so those would be really my convenient times to do.
Monday, I'm flexible, Monday's okay with me, and the earlier the better.
Kelly likes to do those Monday meetings at like 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, I like a cool 10:30.
That's fine.
I do,
Let's see, I don't know what Lisa's schedule is, but
now that being said, Monday, the 26th, I do have a meeting already. I'm at the Susquehanna Library System in the morning.
that's this coming
It
Monday.
might be snow.
Yeah, I don't think you should, I don't think you should plan it.
By into this
You sound like
snowstorm
my
across the
husband.
Amanda,
Yeah.
until my snake hits the ground.
Wait a minute, our meetings are Zoom meetings, right? No, they.
No, they
Oh,
hold
do
here.
hold them-
Typically, we meet in person.
Okay,
I'm actually, not going to Advocacy Day this year, so I could do Monday the 2nd. If that works for everyone,
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
You don't want, you don't want clients to meet? We have a CD coming due at the end of the month of February.
At the end of the month of February,
Yeah, and I have the exact same schedule as Dan,
That's
even
good.
though I don't work with Dan.
what does that mean?
It means I have Mondays off
Okay,
and I typically work until
Shh, don't tell us.
Oh, okay, so you wanna meet on Mondays?
if possible, yeah.
That's fine. Monday.
Our
Are
lunch
you
is
done with,
ruined.
are you done with bills?
you
that
said
you
end
got?
of February,
Yeah.
end of February it's due, right? Can
Yeah,
we do Monday the 9th for finance?
That's fine with
that's
me.
I
fine
feel
with
like
me.
February 2nd.
Then
Oh,
what
no, I
time?
know what it's going. February 2nd's fine. That's a Monday,
That's the first.
10:30. If we can do it in the morning, that'd be
Wait,
great.
the 9th is for, building grants.
No,
the 9th
second
for
is,
finance.
second is for building and grounds. I run that thing like a well-oiled machine.
So February 2nd at 10:30.
10:30, 10:30, was that right?
10:30 is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's February 2nd.
Yeah, February 2nd.
It's also Groundhog's Day, in case anybody celebrates.
Oh, it's also Chester Green.
Oh, it's my nephew's birthday too.
I don't know what that is.
No,
Who? What is Chester?
nobody knows who Chester Greenwood is.
It's the husband of Mrs. Greenwood.
He invented the earrings.
Ah.
Okay.
So that would mean that we have to do, you can only do Mondays.
Well,
Should
I
do
can,
policy right after.
we could, I mean, I'm free any night during the week, you know. But I'd love to
Yeah,
do
it's the same
policy
thing.
right afterwards and get that right done with.
Okay.
Well, if
So
that's
can
like
we do
11:30, I could just
10:30
back.
and 11:30?
Yeah, that
I could
sounds
get there
good.
at 11:30.
You're on policy too.
That's
You're
okay.
policy too.
I know this, I have a Dutch phone, but it's the 3rd, it's the
You sure?
Tuesday.
Oh, so this is which one, February
This is
2nd?
February 2nd.
Okay.
So February 2nd, we're gonna do buildings and grounds at 10:30 and policy 11:30.
Right.
And the library's providing lunch?
And finance we're doing on the 9th.
I
Whenever.
really hate
Okay.
Michael.
Good for you.
10:30
Can you do Mondays?
The later the better,
Okay.
to 9,
Is that
10:30?
like after?
like after 4.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, no. Um,
It's like trying to get a rock band rehearsal again. together.
How's
okay,
Wednesday the 11th?
I can do after 6.
so I'll go with, I can't do Wednesdays, I have a phone committee, so,
I can do I'm off Mondays and then I can do any other day after 6. Is sort of like.
and you
my
can't do
Yeah.
during the day.
No.
On 2/9,
Yes.
okay, so 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock
2/9?
on 2/9, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all right with
4
you?
p.m.
I'll make it.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And then, do we need a personnel meeting?
No,
We also don't meet necessarily every month. I
But
just think
this
in
is
the,
one with the CD.
well, I think so, and we're gonna be flowing through some of the end of the HVAC project, and because they're new committees, I think it's just, I'd like to get everyone just kind of situated,
Well,
and
yeah,
like
you
brought
want-
up to speed and where
Right,
things
we're gonna have a
go.
meeting just to have the initial meeting for the year.
and I should have, hopefully by that 9th date,
The change
for
orders.
the change orders.
Okay. Cause then we can email and stuff like that,
Do
but it's
you
not like
need,
this,
so, wait, what day are you doing that?
the 9th
9th?
at 4.
Do you need me to sign anything before then?
No.
Okay, that's good then.
Um,
Sounds good.
yeah, no, buildings and grounds needs to talk about the, updates to the security system.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so we're,
And we meet here or at your,
We'll
in
meet
your
in my
office?
We have a bunch of things coming to investment wise, so we'll just try to strategize as best as possible at that one meeting and then cut down on things that we don't need to do.
Okay. Now I just want to mention something about outreach, because we talked about this yesterday. As it's currently defined in our bylaws, and we'll revisit, it's become obsolete. And giving this a lot of thought, I said, each one of us is an outreach committee, because it's our responsibility to be an ambassador of the library to our community. So that's when, like, you call a friend and say, oh, join me at the piano concert, you know, it's have no. You don't have to go to the bank for a note, have something notarized, they do it at the library. There's so many services we have here that our patrons don't know, even though it's always, you know, posted whatever, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So we're always doing advocacy, even helping people who don't live in our community, or inform them about libraries. Explain to them what kind of library we are and how people don't understand how we get the funding. So we are all an outreach.
Could outreach include though, planning events?
Okay, here's some events, like we did this fall an event for a reception for donors, and that was done by the trustees. But as far as like the days of the house tour, that ship has sailed. One for the books, that ship has sailed. I think COVID changed everything. People are not opening up their homes like they used to. And the trustees annual appeal has replaced a lot of that. I mean, look at the funds that have come in through that appeal letter. That's doing outreach, but not to say in the future, if somebody has an idea for an event, we could be, it would be formed as an ad hoc, because that's all that it would be.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, it would be great someday to see that, you know, house. But that ship has sailed.
And the house, you have to remember, the house tour was the Friends of the Library.
Right, yeah, that was their thing too. And man, I'm so grateful for the work that the Friends do. They're
good
an
to mix it
amazing
up.
group. They really are. Okay, so enough about that. Okay? We're good with all this? Any questions? Okay, let's go on to old business.
Actually, I am gonna stop you. So, you're dissolving the outreach committee. You had a very successful, donor engagement last year. Are you planning, or is there a plan for, continuity or building out that, donor base, or some type of development plan?
Well, we will continue the annual appeal on obviously an annual basis.
So I think that the goal is to kick the conversation about outreach and publicity to the policy committee
Yeah.
for a deeper discussion.
Yeah.
The policy committee, I did this year for everyone, is I actually put the charges for the committees on the committee assignments this year. And the charge for this committee is responsible for bringing to the board matters or proposals related to maintaining a positive relationship with the library, as well as promoting services to fulfill the library's mission. And so really, outreach and publicity, Diane is incredibly correct when she says it is the role of all trustees to be ambassadors, but also outreach and publicity is really now a day-to-day function of the library. It is something that we do every single day. Like we've built out our programming. And so when we think about like, how do we keep this committee to do different things? You know, you take like one for the books, for example, or when they were doing the capital campaign for the expansion and renovation of the library. That was ad hoc committee work. It didn't fall under the purview of outreach and publicity. And at least as long as I've been here, and I would dare say probably the last few years that my predecessor, Kathy Freedom, was here, outreach and publicity, the committee doesn't meet. And the reason the committee doesn't meet is there's not much for it to do. And so bylaws, the bylaws were written in 1910. They've changed a couple of times since then. But, yes, you should follow your bylaws, but sometimes your bylaws become outdated. So I think, it's a conversation Bill McCoy and I had, when he was president, it was a conversation that, Diane and I had. When she was president, it was a conversation that Elliot and I had. It's a conversation that would come up every time Nada would come to a meeting and say, how come not all the committees meet all the time? And so the committees only meet when the committees have work to do. And so I think that the goal is ultimately to kick it back to policy committee to review the bylaws. And to say, is this a committee that we actually need? And if not, is there a different committee that should replace it or, or not? But I think that work should probably start in the committee.
Okay. I'd like to hear what the development plan and donor development plan is. And how we're gonna build that out.
Okay.
And then how's the scholarship committee gonna be assigned?
It'll become an ad hoc committee.
So when, and we can discuss this a little more later in the agenda. But when the scholarship policy was first created, it was an ad hoc committee. So the first year we gave it out, 2024, when the scholarship policy was created in end of 2023. And we gave the scholarship out in 2024, it was an ad hoc committee. So the board members, the board selected members for the ad hoc committee, and it was the work of the ad hoc committee to select it. In creating, in conversations about what do we have the outreach committee do, and we made this change at the end of 2024 to the policy, the scholarship policy, to put awarding scholarship under the purview of the outreach committee. And the reason we did that is because the outreach committee didn't have anything to do. It was like the committee that didn't meet. So the board decided to take it away from, like, instead of having an ad hoc committee, give it to outreach, because it's sort of aligned with outreach and publicity, because it maintained a positive relationship between the library and the community. So I think the goal is to ultimately bring scholarship back to an ad hoc committee. Yeah.
We'll get there.
So, will that be determined in the policy committee when that should form, or is it just gonna come up when we have to, whoever has to choose the next round of applicants?
I would, well, so that's a conversation again, we'll probably have after I give an HVAC update, a digital archives policy update.
Okay.
But ultimately, we would follow the bylaws as it pertains to how ad hoc committees come together. So an ad hoc scholarship committee would be put together. The ad hoc scholarship committee would do what the outreach committee does, which is basically select, review the applications and make a recommendation to the board. So it would function exactly the way that it did, except instead of it being the outreach committee, it would go back to an ad hoc.
Same job. Okay. Ready for old business?
Yep. Right, so I did mention some of this during my director's report, but we're moving along, we're almost done. They're working on the insulation and the sound attenuating blankets, and everybody's hoping really to be like done and out of here by the end of February. I'm not gonna promise that because we're waiting on delivery of materials and a compressor. But I can say that the building is toasty warm, the building will be cold in the summer, so we're in good shape, we're functioning. So I would say we're probably not quite at the punch list, but we're very close to punch list at this point.
Gosh, I can't wait for a meeting when we don't have HVAC.
It's gonna be a short meeting.
You're gonna love it, really. The board pack is just gonna get infinitely shorter. So the digital archive collection policy. This is in draft. We talked about it at the last board meeting. It's been given the go ahead from our legal counsel. Unless anybody has any questions.
I do.
Okay.
So, I've only read it once, but I'm assuming that this particular version is specific to materials that would depict enslaved peoples, and that when it's, sexual repression or something totally away from enslaved people, then the policy statement reflects that.
Yeah, so this is just a sample content statement, to sort of give context to the policy.
Mhm.
This is obviously depending upon whatever, sensitive or
Okay,
potentially harmful material we might have that we want to indicate, we would tailor that statement to meet the needs of whatever that is.
okay. And every time you're doing this, are you sending it to the attorney to review for if it's indigenous peoples or, some other group that might be offended? Is that the
I mean,
plan?
I probably would. He's approved the policy.
Mhm.
We would follow the policy. He has seen this statement. Certainly I probably would, just as I tend to get twitchy about those things, and I like somebody with a law degree to tell me things, but generally speaking, yeah.
I thought it was good and very all-encompassing, and like in some ways proceed at your own risk,
Yes.
which is good.
So then we
Okay,
could do a motion.
okay. Can somebody please make a motion to approve the digital archives collection policy?
I'll make a motion to approve the digital archives collection.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, policy is adopted.
So the other policy that we had looked at the last meeting, was the Pathway to Success Scholarship Policy. There was some conversation back and forth about it. I wasn't sure if we were moving forward to adopt this, this month. So I did not put an asterisk on it. That doesn't mean we can't move forward to approve it. Would make my life easier if we could move forward to approve it, because then I can start publicizing it for, May and June, and I can start working on getting into schools and things of that nature. But if we were to do so, there would need to be another small change made, which would be to move the 1, 2, 3rd paragraph. It says the Board of Trustees Outreach and Publicity Committee. We would want to move that back to ad hoc scholarship committee.
I have a suggestion also for college. For the money can be used for college, that we put undergraduate or postgraduate work.
I think we did, didn't we?
No,
Certification postings, we put college level coursework.
yeah,
Didn't we have graduate level in there somewhere
No.
at some point?
It's
at some point.
now.
What am I, is it taken out?
It's
It's a good guy.
All right, so what wording do we want to put in there? Give it to me one more time.
So,
This called.
yeah,
College
for
level or.
graduate college, undergraduate or postgraduate college work.
But you also have certificate and whatever.
Yeah, we have the vocational course,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, so we should have the graduate, because we mentioned that.
And we gave it,
And add post-college.
Graduate and
Postgraduate.
postgraduate?
Yes.
So you want undergraduate and postgraduate?
Yeah,
Okay,
So,
so you want it to read, I wanna make sure I have it correct. Undergraduate and postgraduate college level coursework?
yeah.
Okay.
I have to step up. Hold on a second.
So- what we have, I mean, this is what the policy committee came up with at its last meeting, and that's what we did the first reading at the last meeting, so. The add-on changes is to change it to ad hoc and add post graduate. Yes.
So what we're looking at is what the policy committee looked at and evaluated after our last meeting.
After, are you on the policy committee's last
I'm on.
meeting? Yeah.
But, okay, so,
This is what the policy committee proposed.
Policy committee proposed this, at the December meeting. We had the December meeting, there was some conversation back and forth. I wasn't confident where we ended that, with that meeting. So, and because we did not have committees, the committee could not meet to review it before this meeting. But this is what the policy committee had come up with, and I think we had a long conversation about the words may and will. And it was my understanding at both the policy committee meeting and at the end of the meeting last month, the board meeting, that the policy committee felt like financial needs may be considered. Was sort of a compromise in there with the removal of the word optional on the scholarship application, which basically says, do you have any family financial or responsibility? So it was
So it's
really,
covered there.
it's covering it, it's
Yeah, that's
leading
covered.
the applicant to recognize that what the committee is looking for is financial need.
Mhm. So I think we can move forward on this to adapt these to adapt the Pathway to Success Scholarship Amendment. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the Pathway to Success Scholarship and scholarship application?
so, I'm sorry, before we move on, like, what with new members, I wonder, do y'all have any opinions on the choice of wording for may be considered over will be considered?
So my thought honestly was, I would have asked the candidates, the people who won, if there was anything in the statement that they felt made them nervous about applying. And I would have gone, I would seek somebody out. I'd try to craft around it. I'd go to how people interpret it versus am I sending the right message?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass it.
So we actually,
She did it.
did a survey of the applicants for the scholarship, and each of the applicants had indicated that they felt that the scholarship policy was easy to understand, easy to apply for, and had no notes. So we did go back and ask if people felt comfortable with how the scholarship was worded.
In its previous.
In its previous version, which is very close to this version.
But it added a little more finality to the financial need aspect.
This
No, the one previous, this one makes it a little more ambiguous.
Mm,
But by saying that. Like. Remind me how. I know the will may part, but then there was the part that requires them to submit financial material instead of let us know if there's anything that you want us to submit.
So that was.
That makes it more
that was
like
the
financially
conversation
driven.
about the part that was ambiguous,
Yeah.
right? It's less the may and the wills versus on the application, it said optional. Do you have any family, financial or other
And I don't think it should be
responsibilities or
optional.
So it's, yeah, we
Yeah,
should.
but I don't get
They were removing the word optional, right? And instead of saying will be considered, may be considered, because you might have, a really great applicant who, maybe does not prove to have a strong financial need. You don't, it's,
Kind of begs
The may versus
question,
will is
why
sort
would
of-
they be applying
For a scholarship.
for scholarship, and then are you counting their need in your assessment of their application? You know what I mean? Like if somebody really has a strong need and they're rated, number 4, and you're only gonna make 3, are you going to bump them up because their need is greater?
May.
Right.
you may.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there's the problem too, that there's two aspects, is how is it presented to the applicants and what do they understand? And then what does do the committee members understand and what affects their choice? And I think this sort of covers both of it. Because it does give the committee the option that, they do have a financial need, and do we consider that more important than just they wrote a glowing essay?
Mhm.
And, it could sort of boil down to as well, you might have a applicant who maybe answers the first part of the question, like has a true goal pathway, this is what I want to do, and maybe does not produce quite as strong of a financial need, but produces a financial need, versus somebody who has a really strong financial need, but doesn't really have what it is that they're trying to do, right? So I think that it's trying to create a policy which is flexible enough to meet the needs of the committee evaluating the scholarship applicants, while still putting forward messaging and an application which makes it clear to the individuals applying that financial need will be considered, but also is what they're what the scholarship committee is ultimately looking
Right.
for.
will be considering.
Well, as part of the application, it's there. And then
Yes.
it may be considered in the final decision. I think that's
Yeah,
what will be considered and what may come into play at the end of the review by the committee.
Like, I wonder more on the applicant side of like, if one doesn't get a scholarship, then like they're sitting there wondering, how did this committee really pick the winners? If it's really just based off of vibes, essentially, if there's not this required part of the application.
But there is,
but I mean,
it is a required part now, that's what,
So
It-
then,
it says, like, as part of your application, it says, do you have any family, financial, or other responsibilities or experiences that the committee should consider when reviewing your application? Please submit a response.
it's
in
no longer an
appropriate-
optional.
It's no
response.
longer an optional response.
right, so then earlier on the other page, financial need will be considered.
And that's as May.
Right. I agree with that, yeah. It will be considered. Not maybe, it might be considered, it will be, because it's a scholarship. It's a gift of money.
But there could also be an instance where the individuals who apply don't articulate a financial need. Other than, like, tuition is expensive,
Which is also true.
which is also true.
But even if one applicant doesn't, then hopefully the rest of the applicants do, so then their pieces may rise to the top because they did give that information.
That's the work of the committee, right? Like, it's up to
Yeah,
the
but we're
committee.
considering the financial need,
Yes,
right, so will instead of may.
I think if, I think flexibility is a benefit to this. And I think otherwise, this scholarship needs to be qualified as a need-based scholarship, period. Because if you're asking for multiple pieces of a person's situation, desires, needs, you know, if it's strictly based on financial situation, that's fine. But that's not what this necessarily is. It's a combination of circumstance. And that's the committee's job to, you know, read and understand and try to really address, you know, what the needs of our community that's applying.
Well, what is the original intent of the scholarship? Do we have anything in writing?
The intent of the scholarship is the policy. So the,
The policy that we made?
yes, we wrote
Well,
that.
what is the intent by the donor? I thought there was somebody who has put aside this money.
There is.
There is.
So what is his intent?
His intent is to help individuals in the community put for like better themselves, better their lives, move forward. And if it is, you know, finances that are, if giving them a scholarship will help them do that, then that is what he would like the money to be used for. That being said, when the scholarship was created, we were very clear that he's donating the money to the library. It is under the purview of the library how the scholarship will be handed out, right? So like he doesn't, the donor, and ultimately the goal is to have multiple people donate to this scholarship and sort of create an endowment and award off the interest. But you know, certainly the intention of the donor and the donor's wishes can be considered sort of up here, big picture, but with regards to the scholarship policy, right? What you want is something that's flexible enough so that the individuals giving out the scholarship have the flexibility to evaluate the applications that come in and award the scholarship.
And y'all did add flexibility. I like the no longer making it optional, like having that question. And I think it insinuates enough that like financial need is an important aspect of selecting an applicant or a scholarship winner. But it is part of the puzzle. It is part of the whole picture, like whether or not like that is, it's a puzzle piece to this, and like we can't take it out at all. We will be looking at this entire full picture and will be considering financial need. That's not a question.
But is it, I guess, to me, that means it's the determining factor. That's, I mean, that's just the way my brain works.
Consider, the word consider is like more of the wiggle room part of like it is something we will be thinking about, but it's not something, the thing that we're thinking about.
Except when you. But then we go back to the will and the may, right? And this was something the committee went back and forth and forth and back and back and forth. On, and this was the sort of the compromise that the committee had come up with, was that financial need may be considered, but telling us about your financial or situational need was no longer an option as part of the application.
So you've made it
It's
certain
I
part of
guess
it.
it's stronger, yeah.
Have you looked at other scholarship
If it was
application
allocated,
language on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
And really, it boils down to, I mean, like, are you selecting people based on vibes? Like, ultimately, yes, you are. That is the job of the committee. It is the job of the committee who is reviewing the applications to come up with whatever their rubric is using this policy and saying, this candidate really, like, spoke to me, they were clear, this is their situation, this is why we selected them, and whether that rubric ultimately becomes something more rigid, that's, maybe something written out and created, that's one thing. If it's something that the committee comes together and says, look, this is how I evaluated it, let's put them in an order, it's really, that's the work of the committee.
I mean, because I'm just saying, if
And-
someone could come and apply for money and maybe not need it personally, but has a plan to put forth that could be impactful to more people. That could be their project or what have you, and that might be infinitely good for the community as well, and they just need the funding to help spread that. I'm like
Yeah.
making it up.
No,
So I'm just
it's-
saying, like, that's where the may, like, you should tell us about it and it may come into play. And I think it should come into play, but I don't think it should,
It's not the deciding
it's not the
factor.
deciding factor, in
It's
my
one
mind.
piece of the whole.
I think, as in good faith, it's a scholarship, and I think everyone at this table would
Understand.
agree that, of course, we want it to help someone that really truly needs the money. But what that application may look like, it's gonna everyone's like, it's all unique, and that's why I just think having it be more flexible just makes it a little more flexible, but I get what you're saying too, Anna, about, consider, the word consider,
Like,
but I think I think we're kind of beating it.
I mean,
Dead.
if you're saying like what you said of just like it being a factor that like pertains specifically to the individual as opposed to consideration, we're comparing it to other applicants. So, and maybe like we do decide that, the person, like you said, has like a plan going forward and like a great vision, maybe they don't necessarily need like it financially the way that other people's do, but it's a factor that we will be considering somewhere in our rubric. It's not something that we can take away out of our brains in making a decision.
No, I've said what I'll just be repeating myself anyway, so I get it and I respect that, and I think we should.
This is the policy committee came up with this proposal to present to the board. And in all fairness, I think it's well balanced. This is what we agreed on, the committee agreed on to present to the board for a vote. And I think we're kicking a dead horse here now. I think we need to make a decision about this so that we can get this going, move forward.
Yeah, because we're gonna have
We'll lose
another,
another month if we toss this back to the committee, but the committee worked hard to come to this point. So all that said, I would like to take a vote on it as you see it in front of you with the changes made to ad hoc and adding in graduate and postgraduate work. So can somebody make a motion to approve pathway to scholarship as amended and the application?
I'll make a motion to make that policy change.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Is that
Two.
opposing?
Yeah.
Then it's a nay.
Yes.
2 nays, okay.
Okay.
So we have,
what do we have? Megan and Lori put it forward. You have 2 days,
2 nays.
have 5.
Nays.
Okay, motion passes.
Motion passes.
I would like just to offer, please try to come back to us with something then. Only because we want, like, to make this work for everyone.
Well, it's
I mean, it's
already
such
been
a-
passed.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if you find language that is more suitable for you.
And we do, it's using the word will, like that's what I am putting forward. Specifically, but we already took the vote, so cool, it's
Yeah,
passed.
it's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, on to new business.
Okay, so, New York State mandates that the trustees do 2 hours of, training every year, so I'm just putting it on your radar. that you have trustee training. If there are any topics or anything of interest that you would like to see us do as a board training, please let me know.
You just did training, didn't
You
you?
did just
Yeah,
do
okay.
training.
I did my sexual
Um,
harassment training like 3 weeks ago.
No, that's different.
Well, that's because it took you a year to do yours, Dan.
Oh.
So with regards to annual trustee training, you also have the opportunities. You're all officially registered as members of NYLA. Did you get emails letting you know you're a member of NYLA now?
No.
No.
Well-
Oh, she told me you got your welcome emails. Check your email. If you
Okay.
did not get a
Yeah.
welcome email, let me know and I'll reach out to Lauren at NYLA. NYLA does, you're also members of the library trustee section of NYLA, which puts out a lot of trainings. So you can do those online trainings. I would encourage you to do as much training as you can. It's, the more you can learn, the more you can do, the better you are as a trustee. So that's my piece about annual trustee training. There's also something called the Trustee Handbook Book Club, which is run by two system directors in different parts of the state. I think one is from upstate New York and one is from Western New York. I'll send you out information on that as that comes up, but that's always a really interesting program. They also record all of those and they're available so you can watch the recordings as well.
And you got your John Jermain email, right? The new-
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
The other thing you should all have in your email is your New York State mandated sexual harassment prevention training. You do have to do it every year. It will seem remarkably similar to the last time you did it. And for those of you who did not do it in a timely manner, it will feel like you did it just
You
yesterday.
can do it on Groundhog Day,
Yeah.
and then you can have that real experience.
So this is one of those video training.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sit there and-
It's every
and
day.
John, it's like John Smith says this to Sally. Why is that considered sexual harassment?
Yes.
It's
And
important though.
It's
It is
important.
very
It's very important.
Yeah.
it is important. So.
It's so fresh in my mind though.
There was also an email about the phishing
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
too.
You don't answer that one.
All right, and also, if you could all
It's due in a
please,
couple of days.
could you please complete the phishing email as well, because our system randomly sends out phishing emails to see
Oh,
who is going to accidentally click on links. And
I did that
the
once.
board
I
of
got it
trustee
once.
emails
Is it
are
the
really
voice one?
bad
Which one?
about, like, you guys.
Oh, no, I got a
fail
voicemail
phishing.
one.
Yeah.
You have voicemail.
So please,
Yeah.
do the phishing.
So last
I
year there
asked
was,
about the phishing email before I did it.
Phishing.
Yeah.
last year there was
So do your
one,
phishing training.
last year there was one that said you've got a voice message. That was phishing. Another one said you have points in some system that you have to click on to use up.
And did you click on it?
No, I did the voicemail one. I did not do the other one.
This
I
is
talked
board
about IT.
trustees email?
Yeah, they send you these tests to make sure.
The online training module that we use for sexual harassment prevention training
Punchbowl training.
also does
Punchbowl
other
training.
trainings.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like it's a
Yeah.
whole training
I think
suite.
I did.
And the one that we send out a lot to the staff and to the trustees has to deal with phishing and preventing you all from clicking on things you shouldn't click on.
The second one, I contacted the library's IT department and made sure that I wasn't something really important.
I will find a gold star for you.
Can I get a medal?
I will get you a medal. So yeah, so please also do the fishing training.
Okay. All righty.
on.
Period for public expression. Why? Okay, we don't have any executive session. Here's the chance.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:24.
All in favor?
Nope, they gotta get a second.
I'm sorry.
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone want to stay longer? No. Meeting adjourned.